What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Beers and Breakdowns. I'm back. I saw somebody, you guys, asking about me in the comment section when Kurt was running the show. I appreciate you guys looking for me.
He was out. He was out.
I was out for a little bit.
We booted him.
I got kicked out of the company. I was out doing search and rescue stuff. I signed up for search and rescue, and then I went to EMT school. I passed, and then I just interviewed for paramedic school, so I should be starting paramedic school in a month. And then I did Swiftwater Search and Rescue School. So, you may be asking yourself, why are you doing that, Buck? And because I want to serve, and I like serving. But the cool thing is, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. You can do stuff when you don't have a boss, it's even better. So, volunteer. If you could be a volunteer for something, like I'm going to volunteer EMT while I'm going to paramedic school, and I'm on the search and rescue, and then I'm going to do, it's all volunteer based. So you don't have a boss.
Nice.
So you get to do all the cool stuff without having an actual boss.
By the way, I don't know if you guys spotted my super fancy audio getup I got going on here.
Yeah, that tape job is super professional.
I flew to Sean this time, and
yeah, we're at my house today, so that's why it's not like all
I have to take the whole show on the road. And so I may have forgotten a couple of things. I may have had some things overnighted because I forgot a lot of really important things, but this was one of them, the clip for this mic.
Some would call it irresponsible.
Irresponsible.
I know there's a long intro for Lioness too, and we're going to get to the show. But guys, I can't wait for you to see so much exciting things. I can't wait for you to see the show that Abel's working on right now. Think Drive to Survive meets Special Forces Selection. That's what we're going for. Netflix is gonna wish they had this show that we're creating.
I hate when you say that stuff.
I know, it puts a lot of pressure on him. But I've already seen the intro, so I know it's that good. It's that good. You guys are gonna love it. The show's gonna be amazing. So anyway, let's get to Lioness 2. That's the episode for today. I have to say, a caveat: Lioness episode 1. I put it out on YouTube that I like this one, and everyone's like, "Oh, season 2." No, I just mean episode 2 of season 1. That's how far I got. I only got to episode 1 of season 1, and I was so cringed out by that first episode, I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm getting beat by my boyfriend, and then the next day I'm in special operations, and I'm just getting fast-tracked.
The pull-up scene.
The pull-up scene where she's like, yeah, she's like, I want to be in that line. I couldn't deal. And I don't know what else to say on that. If you're the actress watching this, or if you're involved in this, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, we've been getting hit up by some people that I know are watching this that we are talking about. And now we know for a fact that people that we talk about are watching this show. I don't know what to say, man. That was terrible.
I think she's a great actress. I think it has nothing to do with her personally. I think it has everything to do with the writing. They told her to say that.
Right.
They crafted that entire scene where she says, I can give you... First of all, nobody would say that if you were there. And even if you did, the people in charge wouldn't entertain that kind of a dialogue. Yeah. And then they wouldn't congratulate it afterwards and say weird things like, if you attack everything like this, you'll be unstoppable. Is that what you think that happens when you go to basic training? That
he could speak now. He just went to an SFRE pre-selection for SFAS. He just watched a bunch of guys go through a course to try and become Green Berets. All that to say, I finally, after months and months and months, and seeing the fact that Morgan Freeman is in the show at some point, longest intro ever. I guess I'm just excited to be back, talking to you guys, back with you guys, because I really feel like when I'm talking to the camera, I'm with the homies, hanging out with you guys. Whatever you're doing when you guys watch this show, drinking coffee, if you're having beers, getting some time away, your time off, whatever. I feel like we're kicking it. So I'm excited to be back with you guys. Let's jump into Lioness season 1, episode 2, and talk about the tactics and why it's so much better than episode 1, and why I think this show is some people are saying the new SEAL team.
What matter to you? You can't have this conversation with a white man.
With a... I am your father before I'm anything else. Do you understand me? Here's all you did today. You got suspended from school and you forfeited a win for your team. That's it. You can't beat the hate out of someone, Kate.
No, but you can try.
Just like your mother.
Bro.
can't with the
I can't
with the
with-
role reversal. Like,
yeah, dude, it's terrible.
that's something a mother would have said. That's not necessarily something a father would have said. I'm not going to say that they can't, but it just doesn't seem normal to me.
That's what I always say, do you understand? Every time I'm giving my kids like correction, I always say in an angry voice, do you understand?
Yeah.
So when he said that, I was like, I get it. And I'm a white father with mixed kids. And if my daughter ever came up to me and said I can't with a white man,
You are a white man.
get out of my car. Get out. I can't with you, dude. Get out. You're walking home. That was the most cringy thing to ever have a child say on camera, ever, dude. I can't have this conversation with a white man. Like, I'm your father. What are you talking about? I'm half you, bro. Like, you can't just ignore that half of who you are.
Yeah.
That was so cringy to me. When I saw this, I was like, well, here we go. Line it up for another fail with this show.
I thought it was a cool scene if it was like done properly, but that's just they keep doing this thing where and I feel like they did this in the first episode where they're taking Zoe Saldana's character, they're making her the man of the house, and they're making him the female. Like, you don't have to make him the female to have her be masculine and strong. It doesn't have to be that way, but they've done that to where he's having these talks with the kid. He's driving the Mercedes SUV. He's pulling it over because, oh, that's exactly what your mother would say. I mean, how many scenes do we see with it? That's what your father would say. It's like, we get it. She's the strong lead character, but the idea that he would all of a sudden be this feminine doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. Why write it that way?
And the crazy thing is he's got a super G job. He's a surgeon.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just...
his job is way cooler than hers.
Like, it's like, what if you had just a normal man who was also married to a woman who was in special operations, and then just approached it from that angle instead of making sure that he's the one doing all the feminine things. It doesn't make any sense to me personally. Call it cringy, whatever. But it wouldn't be that way.
No, this is the one where I started watching and I was like, here we go, we're off to another horrible start.
Yeah.
I can't do this with a white man. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Is that what you think? I mean, don't bother fighting for custody, because I want to go live with him.
I would too. I'm sorry to tell you, we're not getting divorced. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I'm already grown up.
You're so far from grown up, you can't even
What?
see it from where you are.
I just want to know if that kid got kicked by a horse.
I don't know if you've ever been punched in the face, but it doesn't do that much damage.
Like,
is that what happened? Did she get punched?
She got punched in the face. She's got a Joker smile bruise going up the side of her face. This huge black eye like this. Like, she looks like she got hit by a truck.
That's multiple hits.
And then
that's
flipped
not one hit.
down the street and then drug. I've never seen a face bruise look so bad.
Unless she got hit by Francis Ngannou from UFC, or just a grown big man. There's no way that another kid is going to do that much damage with one punch to the face.
She looks like her whole soccer team kicked her in the face. Like, what were you thinking with this makeup?
No.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, God, it's her again.
Look at this. Oh, sick, dude. Look at she does
I'm sure this somehow sets her up for future battles.
5 push-ups.
Just moving the legs.
Bicycles. The push-ups, bicycles, push-ups. That was a terrible workout montage.
Is she now going to do really well in a fight? Is that what this is? It's like because she did like 7 crunches and moved her legs, she's now going to be able to like take full-grown men in a hand-to-hand combat situation.
Dude, I must have talked by my computer or something while I was watching this, but while all of a sudden a video clip showed up and it was like asking her, the actress, how she worked out for Lioness. And I'm like, you mean
How you didn't work out for
all
Lioness?
102 pounds of her? She looks like more like a Victoria's Secret model than she does.
She was obviously much more worried
soldier.
about being thin than she was about bulking and building muscle and working out. Like, not to say she didn't work out, but at the same time, she's clearly prioritizing being small for the role than being strong.
Yeah, she's super thin. Like, how did you work out for the role? It's like, I don't know, ran forever?
By the way, I guess just comment in the comment section and let us know how many of you are buying into this stuff. I'd really like to know. Is this the stuff you like? Do you buy this whole thing? Is it normal to you? You enjoy this show? Let us know. I may be in the minority, and that's perfectly fine, but This stuff, I think it's just so stupid. We can't show some of it. There's no way YouTube would let us show that, but he uses the water to take off articles of clothing.
But he's blasting her with a fire hose, which would be horrific. The hose in SEER school is a thing, and it was the worst because I had a winter SEER, and so when they would take us outside, all we had was like a nurse gown, top and bottom, like scrubs. So they wanted you to be freezing all the time, and they would take in ice cold and they would spray us with freezing water, and it felt like little blades, like needles hitting my skin. The freezing water in like 15-degree temperatures. Yeah. So they're like, "Do you want the hose?" And you're like, "No, no." And they would make you go outside.
Put the lotion on your skin.
And they would say, "Roll, roll, roll," and you'd have to roll, and they'd be spraying everybody with freezing water, and it literally, dude, felt like you're being stabbed. Yeah. It was so cold. It was painful. So the hose thing is a total SEER tactic, and this is where the show starts to get cool, is because you take all her like feminism out of it, and it starts to really focus on operators at this point. Like you start to see CAG operators, you start to see ground branch, CIA ground branch. And if you guys don't know, there's a difference between CIA contractors, which is
gardeners.
Yeah, the gardeners. That's like the Black Rifle CEO. So you have Evan Hafer from Black Rifle with CIA. You have what's his name?
Cash, Ray.
Yeah, Ray Cash with CIA, and Sean Ryan with CIA. So those guys were contractors. They call them gardeners. I don't know why. That's what Evan was calling them. And then I know a few other guys that were contractor CIA. So essentially what those guys are doing, that's like 13 hours in Benghazi. So they're doing like base defense, stuff like that. So they get contracted for whatever operation they're getting deployed on. And then once they come back, they get cut loose. And I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I wasn't CIA, I don't know exactly, but I know that like if I wanted to get out as a Green Beret, I can go do contracting. I just have to hit up somebody that's already in. Evan, one of those guys, be like, "Hey bro, I'd like to do this." They'll get me set up with a contracting gig. That's what a lot of people do. But then there's ground branch. And ground branch is different. Ground branch is typically, that's where the real high speed, like super high speed CIA guys are. And that's, they're typically pulling from tier 1. So they're pulling SEAL Team 6 guys, Delta Force guys. They'll pull Green Berets that have a lot of experience. So like if you're retired Green Beret, retired Ranger, they want a ton of experience on ground branch. And so this show shows the Delta operators and the ground branch kind of going at it, which it kind of blew me away. Like, how do they know that? Like, what kind of advisor do you have that's like giving you the dynamic of ground branch specifically and Delta? Because typically Hollywood just goes CIA, and then they just want us to buy everything hook, line, and sinker. Clearly in this show, they know the difference between CIA, ground branch, and Delta Force operators.
And what were those guys doing during the pull-up scene? Oof. Like gas?
No, it's just more water. They're going waterboarder. the whole point of the scene is that she is supposed to already have been through SEER school. So she's supposed to know the tactics and considerations of evading, getting captured, and surviving, right?
Yeah.
She's been to SEER school.
If you can't explain what just took place, I'm pretty sure we can't show that. So.
Okay, so what just took place was 4 guys walked in. She put on some clothes. 4 guys walked in, and they shoved a rag in her mouth. And they were like, "What's your name?" And she says, "F you." And so they kick her and punch her. Oh, at first she starts punching them.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
She fought, yeah.
She fought back, so they knock her around a little bit. Then they put a rag in her mouth, and they start essentially waterboarding her with the fire hose. They just put the rag in, plug her nose, obviously, because she would just breathe through her nose. Plug her nose, and then run the fire hose over the rag so she can't breathe. Every time she takes a breath, she's just sucking in that water. And so they ask her name. She just keeps saying F you. This part really bothered me. It was cool in the sense that the operators are doing the right thing. So that was really, really cool, because this is how I think if you were to ask me and my teammates to set up like a fake scenario, we would set up something very similar. So they nailed it at that front. This was very accurate in that sense. But then with her supposedly going through SEER school and saying F you and punching the guys,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. You get captured, you're by yourself, torture has already begun,
Right.
and 4 captors walk in and you're going to start fighting them?
Yeah.
What sense does that make? So they either beat the crap out of you, and now you're in the same position with broken ribs and a broken nose and a broken jaw, or they kill you. So congratulations, SEER taught you nothing.
Right.
You don't do that. Use your brain. You say, okay, who are these guys? Why do they want me?
Which
Why am I here?
hasn't gone through SEER school at this point, right?
She has.
Oh, she has?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's done everything the
I thought
first
she,
week
I
of
thought
training.
I thought she just did basic.
No, she's done it all in a month.
Oh.
She's
okay.
the only operator ever to just go through in a month.
Never mind,
I
yeah.
joke about the month, but that's what they make it seem like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind.
She was fast tracked like
Yeah.
100%. She went through pre-basic, did so many pull-ups that they put her directly in operator training.
Train those pull-ups.
And
you
she
guys
went-
are going in, train
yeah.
those pull-ups. It'll fast track you to everything.
Yeah, so all she did was do a ton of pull-ups, and then she went right into tier 1 CAG selection.
Yeah.
So OTC is what they call it for CAG selection, Operators Training Course. And, us Green Berets have to spend years becoming Green Berets and deploying combat, and then we have to do selection for CAG, and then we have to go through OTC if you go. I didn't go, but my buddies that go on, they had to do selection, then they have to go to OTC, then they have to get on the team and be new guys again. She skipped all that. She is just basic, ton of pull-ups. Now she's a tier 1 operator. So that's where we're at. She's a
Pull-ups.
tier 1 operator from pull-ups.
Why'd you stop? Did somebody get a little rough in the champagne room, have his way, and you weren't strong enough to stop him, and now here you are proving how strong you are? That sound about right? It's like these boys had their way too. There's always someone bigger, stronger, but you know that.
Bro, chef's kiss. She's so good.
So hot.
She's so good.
The low voice thing.
She's killing it.
Just give me chills.
And the way that she just breaks down her character in the show to where we're all feeling
Yeah.
like we can't stand her, which then makes me think, is she supposed to be the girl from Sicario that we all hated, but we were all supposed to hate?
Oh. First of all, I loved her in Sicario. I
No.
thought that character was great.
That was the worst character.
I
She
thought
was
Emily
so
Blunt's character was awesome.
Emily Blunt's character was so annoying that whole time. Everybody wanted to just tell her to leave.
I thought it was good.
But I think that they obviously did that on purpose, and we were supposed to hate Emily Blunt and her character. So
Well, it didn't
now,
work on me.
the way Zoe is just tearing her to pieces,
Yeah.
I understand she's trying to make her better, and she's trying to toughen her up for what's to come. But dang, Zoe's good, dude.
Well, she's obviously a top tier actress. It's not what do they say? It's not her first rodeo.
Right.
Right. She's obviously she's been in crazy movies. She's very high level, so she's a great actress. But
She's fun to watch, man.
But look what happens when the writing matches the acting level.
Yeah.
Crazy how good it is.
So how do we go from her to who she's talking to is just so cringy?
Because there's a point that they're trying to make. So it doesn't. The writing doesn't matter anymore. Once you've decided a point preemptively, the writing can't happen, right? So like, and it's a crazy point that it comes from. But you remember South Park?
Yeah.
So those guys put on a clinic in terms of like how you should write, and it's like, it's not and then, right? If you're writing a story and then the next thing that it's going to happen is and then you've already messed up. It should be therefore or because, right? But it should never be and then. So if you're writing something and then this happens, that means that whatever's next is something you want it to happen. But you write the first part and then because of that and then, therefore this happens.
Oh,
like,
that's
so
interesting,
it's
'cause
supposed to progress itself.
That's how I think of tactics.
Right.
Is like you walked up to this spot
Right.
to have a good field of view.
Yeah.
And because you did that, you saw this, and because you saw that, you had to do this.
Right. But you can't just write whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just be like, and then this happened. Well, if then that happened, then you're going to lose everybody because nobody's going to believe. But if you write the first part and say, well, so therefore, this happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's believable because if you wrote this part, obviously the next part is a cause and effect. But if you just write things for the sake of writing them, you get her. And that's 50 pull-up chick.
Now she thinks she won.
Pretty positive she doesn't feel like a winner.
I need to know her breaking point, and now I don't.
She's pretty fucking better than me.
She's on a suicide mission, and you know it.
So that was huge. So that was huge for multiple reasons. First, they made that CAG dude look like a total wuss. That he just instantly got annihilated by this shit.
Yeah, just got his ass whooped.
Yeah, and like, I think what they're trying to do is show his level of professionalism. Is that when his higher command says stand down, he will not fight back.
Yeah.
Because obviously he could just destroy that tiny little female if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But he's willing to take a beating from her and pretend like, oh, you know what, whatever, you're gonna hit me.
Which I like that point.
Because he's told to stand down.
Told to stand down.
He's not becoming victim to her.
Right.
But it very much shows her like this He-Man woman hater. Like she's just so tough she could beat everybody else.
Yeah.
But then Zoe's character comes in and answers the biggest flaw I've had with this entire show so far is why this girl? Why this girl? Why this random girl that you're just picking up on the street and throwing into special operations?
Mm-hmm.
She was cannon fodder.
Right.
They selected her to go into a suicide mission and die.
Yeah.
So they needed somebody without parents, without anybody who's going to cause a fit, without anybody who's going to call and be like, you need to investigate this and you need to figure out what happened to my kid.
Right.
So they found this girl who is troubled. She has daddy issues, so she's got so much to prove that she's willing to do anything. The show is fixed. If I was reading the script, I would be like, there's this huge hole. And this is where they fixed it for me.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Why are you doing all this for this random person?
Yeah.
Because she just planned to die, and you just need someone who doesn't have a bunch of family to cause a stink when she does.
Right.
So at least as the viewer, I'm going, okay, I could buy that.
I have a feeling it's not going to work out that way. But
Well, of course not. She's going to be the best, and she's going to be a superhero, and then she's going to rise to the ranks of being the next president of the United States.
Right. Which is fine. Write that if you want. Just do it better.
There it is, guys. I'm sorry for all the rants, but I just have to break down why this show is so far becoming so good, but still so bad. All because of one character. It's crazy to me. But let us know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you guys want? What do you guys want to see us do next? Words are getting hard. Drop down in the comments below. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate you guys. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.